Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're taking a look at a John Deere X300. Customer brought it in and said that it runs poorly and that it pops and cracks when it's under a load. So when he tries to engage the PTO or when he's going up and down a hill or anything that involves any power, he'll get popping and cracking and poor running out of it. Kind of sounded that same way when I was pulling it in. We're going to go through the full diagnostics on a John Deere X300 or any other model if yours has a Kawasaki V-twin engine on it. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button as we go along if you enjoy the content. First, we'll get the hood out of the way here. I've got my noise cancellation turned off, so hopefully the crickets aren't bugging you too bad. Let's show you exactly what this thing does. Now, when I ran this thing in yesterday, it wasn't doing anything like that. It wasn't popping and cracking nearly that bad. It actually didn't sound horrible. Let's dig in and figure out exactly what's going on. One of the first things I like to confirm is that we're getting a good fuel supply when we're working on any running issue on an engine. We want to make sure that that fuel is good quality and that it doesn't have any water or anything in it. So we're going to locate the fuel filter and the fuel line going to the fuel pump. That's this little circular thing here. It pumps it from this line from the back, and then it sends it here to the carburetor. If we take off the outlet side, going to the carburetor, just gonna put a fuel line on it, and we'll turn this thing over and see how well it shoots out of there. You should get a very good flow. It should not just be kind of trickling out. So, see if I can't set it up to get a good view of it. Now that's a decent flow, much lower, and I'd probably want to address like a fuel filter or something to that effect. It looks nice and clear, and it smells good. Now we did service this, I think about 3 or 4 months ago. We would have checked all that out then. Everything still looks good. I haven't talked to the customer about what type of fuel they're using, but with it popping and cracking this bad, if there was an issue with the fuel, we'd see some sort of separation. This is one that I pulled out of a mower recently. You can see that there's a line of water at the bottom of it. You should not see any sort of separation at all. This one's extreme, obviously, but if you see even just a little bit in the bottom of your jar, if you put it in a clear jar, you'll want to drain that fuel and put some known fresh in it. We always use ethanol free. This fuel, I'm going to say it is good. Normally that's not going to be the cause of a popping and cracking issue, but if it has a bunch of water in it, it will cause improper combustion and can definitely cause some funky issues. So we've got good fuel and we know we got spark because we're running, but let's test both cylinders independently. So we've got 2 cylinders. We've got one here and we've got one on this back side. These should run independently of one another. So if I unplug one spark plug wire, the mower should run perfectly fine on one side. One of the easy ways to know if it's a fuel related issue is that if it's losing power and bogging down also while you're doing this, and not so much the popping or the cracking is bad, you can choke it just partially. So push that choke up just a hair. And if it starts to run better at any point as you're going up, then that's going to mean that the issue is fuel or air related. We could have just a plugged air filter. If your air filter is completely restricted, you will get a little bit of bad running. I mean, that thing's just clean as all can be. So I'll leave it off of there. Well, Still got a little bit of debris up there. We'd want to blow that out a little bit first. If you're getting a bunch of black smoke and fuel smell, this choke could be stuck in the up position. I see that often, where once it comes up, it doesn't come right back down. And this one actually seems like when I push it up, it doesn't come right back down either. It does. It's supposed to be spring loaded. Once you come up, it should go up and come right back down. It seems like it does with the choke lever. When I was pushing it by hand a little bit further though, it was wanting to stay up. Well, working okay now. Still a little sluggish. We'll want to clean that out a little. You can just blow down through here with some carb cleaner and some compressed air, usually, and free it up. I do have a video on taking this apart and actually removing and cleaning that choke also. I'll put that up top. Let's check this cylinder. I'm just going to plug in a different spark plug and just hold it against the side so it does discharge as we're going. Right now, with this unplugged, we're going to be running on that opposite cylinder. So how does it run? It appears that the opposite cylinder does not want to run at all. Okay, so that means that there's something going on with that cylinder likely. Let's try it backwards of this. So we'll remove this plug. Oh, it's really on there. Got that other side plugged back in. Remove this plug here. We'll hold it against the block, just like we were on the other one. So it's showing us that something's going on with this cylinder. It looks like we had spark there. We can test the spark while it's off. I'm going to use a spark checker and see what it tells me. Just a little clip on. It's showing 0 spark at all. Unplug this other one again. Just kind of see. Zero spark, which means this cylinder definitely has an issue. If you're testing without a spark tester, it's pretty easy to do, to just hold it to the side of the block while you're turning it over, and from the inside to the outside probe, you should see a good spark. You want to insulate yourself, that way you don't get shocked. I'm seeing all kinds of spark there, which is very strange, as it was showing bad with my checker, and it wasn't running, of course. Not one bit of spark is what the spark checker is showing, even though it is sparking. Let's take the plug out. This plug looks good. I don't see any issues. Put a brand new one in. It's the one that we were just using for testing. See what our spark checker says now. It showed good there for a second when I got that pop, but at first it showed bad. So we're not a spark plug issue. We are some sort of either spark issue or issue with the valve train. To me, it's presenting as a spark issue because we're showing intermittent coil voltage or intermittent spark with our spark checker. It's usually pretty accurate. I don't usually have any issues. Let's see if it runs independently without this other cylinder. Now that we're getting a little bit of action out of it. Got the other one unplugged. Right back to 0 spark. So this is telling us we have an issue with the ignition coil or with the kill wire up underneath or one of the kill wires of the tractor itself. Since the other coil is sparking okay and it's not being killed out, it's on the same circuit as this. So it's not going to be a safety issue or an issue with one of the electronics on the tractor. It's going to be something that's on this engine itself. With it only being one cylinder and we're showing bad spark, we're going to proceed that way. If you were showing good spark, even though we kind of saw it here, which is very strange, you would want to open up the valve train and figure out if you had a bent push rod or a stuck valve or something to that effect. To get in here to where the coils are, we'll need to take the screen for the flywheel fan off and then also the bolts for the housing. These are T30 Torque. They're all the same size. And we've got the fan, and then underneath there's a little spacer also. We've got a 10mm bolt here, here, and here on this side. I think this one's going to be a little longer because it goes into the oil fill tube. So that's the long one out of the 6 we'll have to take out. Take the air cleaner out. Looks like we've got 2 10mm bolts here. Still got that other spark plug hooked up. And this one is through the holder for the lines. Weird, almost seemed like it was stuck in there. Not cross-threaded. Then we can take the fuel pump off. It'll be 2 of these same screws. The whole housing is free. You can kind of pull this away and it comes up and off. Here we are at the ignition coils. I've already got this one unplugged over here. I'm going to hold it against the block, and what we're going to do, since we know this is the side that's not working, we're going to unplug the kill wire here. And that basically removes it from the rest of the system. This one is completely independent. If you do this and your coil's working right, it will be hard to shut it off. You'll have to either pull the plug or ground this back out. So beware of that. But let's try to start it and also test and see if we're getting any spark without that kill wire. Absolutely nothing, which is, again, very strange because when we visually inspected this side, we were able to see some spark on that plug. Let's test the other side and see what it is getting. Just for the heck of it. And then just ground out this plug, hold it to the side. So my spark tester was working. It went to high as I fell down here, but reset it. Showing good spark on this side with my spark checker. So the spark checker is working okay. This coil is working okay. This coil is bad. When you're testing for this, you can check the gap in between the coil and the magnet, and also check the magnet for rust or anything that would impede getting spaced correctly. Everyone loves to sand or wire brush the magnet there. Got it all clean. And just visually inspecting straight down, I can see that there is a good space. It is not spaced extremely far, and it's not extremely close. It's not rubbing. We'll take our two 10mm bolts out. Both the same size. We're going to remove this coil. This is a 21171-7047. There are a lot of them in a lot of different numbers, but they all cross back to the same. This coil is actually off of an engine that somebody changed the oil. I think it was the first or the second oil change for this engine, and they put the wrong oil filter on it. Engine started leaking oil, or leaked when it was sitting there. They ran it and locked it up. These are basically new coils. I'm just going to show you for testing purposes that that is what's going on. We will get a new coil for the customer, but again, basically brand new. We're just going to space it with a business card in between, just like such. Perfect. And if you want to use a spacer or a feeler gauge, 10 thousandths is where you want to be. Just going to put a little bit of anti-seize on there, make sure that they don't only thing I don't like about using anti-seize is it gets everywhere. Just going to rotate and get our card out. Visually inspect again our coil, properly spaced. Let's plug it in. I'm going to hook up the kill to begin with because this coil should work. I don't want to have to deal with trying to shut it off once it starts. Let's see what our spark checker says now. Look at that. Green, and it starts. This other plug is unplugged, but it could have been sparking back on that other spark plug because I had it right sitting there. It'll jump to that other plug. Now we're just running on this side. We're getting that spark now. We know the valve train's good because the other one's unplugged. I've got the air filter on just so it doesn't suck anything from when we engage the deck. Let's see how this thing runs with both cylinders going. Well, there you have it. A nice simple fix for a failing ignition coil that for some reason was still showing some spark, but was not showing as a good spark with the spark tester. So the spark tester was working because that spark was actually not present, or it was low enough that it wasn't reading that it was present. A very good spark checker. I like those a lot. Kind of pricey, but they do really come in handy for all electronic ignition issues. Anyway, hopefully this has helped you if you had the same or a similar issue on any of your V-twin Kawasaki engines, whether it's on this John Deere X300 or any other maker model. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button if you enjoyed the content. Thank you for watching.